All right, welcome to episode 67 of Adventures in Inbetweening. Today I am looking at a short sequence from Cowboy Bebop, the movie. Going to be following Ein and Ed along as they're looking for the hacker, be comparing the storyboards to the final version.
Funny smell. Ein, can you find him? Is it here, Ein? Trick or treat!
Trick or treat!
Shut up, kid! Halloween's tomorrow, then get lost!
Well, that wasn't him.
Wow, wonderful stuff. Now, you might be asking, why did I cover this sequence? There's way more exciting sequences in Cowboy Bebop movie. Look at these wonderful silhouettes here. This sequence, to me, is the only motion here you see is Ein sniffing, is just deceptively brilliant. It looks simple, but there's so much going on here. Let's look at this storyboard here. The idea was that Ed's sniffing the hat, so in animation, take it way farther. Really, this is setting up the connection between Ed and Ein here. And then Ed's popping back, funny face, body pose. This is taken from the boards here. And the boards had so many good ideas. Ed's on 2s and 4s. You got Ein blinking here, cute little corgi, anticipating back. And starting to come forward into the poof, big pop sneeze. All this while, Ed's doing this motion over here, wobbling around. So you've got this 1, 2, consistent motion on one side, and the other side you go, pshoo, and then like a dog. It's the contrast, just in this first scene. Like I say, this is high-level animation jiu-jitsu here. All the characters are moving on the same frames, which is, it may seem like a very simple thing, but it does take some planning. You've got people animating the characters separately to make sure that they are consistently moving on the same frames. Most times you will see one character moving one frame, another character moving on the other frame when you have 2D animation on 2s or 3s or 4s. Look at Ein barking here. The connection between the two of them and the backgrounds. I mean, I'll talk more about the backgrounds as we go, but they're all terrific. Just really beautifully drawn perspective. Now, look how little is moving in this shot here. We have no cars moving, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 characters moving. Now, the 4th character up top there, well, we don't know who it is right away until we see the silhouette. It's Ed and Ein. And we've got that exact same walk that Ed is going to be doing throughout the whole thing. No cars moving around lets us focus on them. You might not even see them first time through, but as you watch it again, it's like, oh yeah, of course, that's there. It's right in the middle. It's super clear. Now look at this here. Look at the focus on Ed here and Ein. Clear silhouette. We've got these other characters moving around them, just kind of framing everything. You've got these cars slowly moving away from us on the left. You've got the blurred background in the far deep background there. Great shapes with Ed, the foreshortening. The foreground is blurred as well, so it's really focusing us on the midground clarity there. Now here again, the storyboards are so strong. If Ein's going to be sniffing, then Ed's going to be sniffing too. They're connected. Everybody else here is going around their business. We've got 5, 6, 7 people walking around. Now we've got this, Ed's attracting a little bit of attention as people are walking past, looking over their shoulder there. Turns back, goes back to her lives. The other woman there is just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to go over here and walk around. It's so subtle, but it's such a good example of believable actions by human actors. Again, you just got people in this scene, interacting with each other, going around their daily lives. You see that in the storyboard, Ed wasn't there to start, but Ed would have had to cover too much distance. So this is, Ed had to start on screen here. Great posing, and this guy just sitting there, what do I want to eat? You've got the dynamic silhouettes of Ed here. Everything is, yeah, look at me go. and everybody else is just going around their completely normal life. This just creates such a wonderful contrast. You got that train coming in. I think I called it a bus earlier. And again, now the train is continuing on one direction and Ed's going to reverse direction. It's just, I mean, this is not accidental stuff. And then Ed's doing the windmill motion going back. Ed's hungry. Ed notices, oh, look, there's food. Oh, I like that. And look at this pose with the character over here on screen right. It's not even that important. We're just gonna, the action is repeated there. It's like, yeah, okay, let's reuse that pose. It doesn't matter if it's reused. We don't notice that it's reused. And it's just, again, it's just believable human interaction. Look at Ed on the cut here, rotating 90 degrees. Paint line artifacts. I mean, this is such an interesting thing to watch, and it's unavoidable. Again, the boards have solved so many challenges here, but whenever you've got characters painted like this on a single background, you have to draw a line where the character is going to end and where the background is going to take over. So you're going to see that all the way through on this scene here. We got a truck coming in here, starting to be a less busy part of town. There's fewer people, fewer vehicles. You can see the board idea there. Ed's not paying attention and going to fall, tripping around. Silly action. Again, just showing the personality of the character. And again, there's that paint line. Keep an eye on that all the way through. Beautiful. And then we cut to here. Now, this is showing this even less busy part of town. There's nothing in the background moving here. Now, Ed, this is the way Ed experiences time. It's like, I got on the subway. Hey, I'm off the subway. Like, Ed's just kind of like does this, time skips in her brain. So it makes sense that the cuts are just going to do these time skips. No cross dissolves or anything. Now Ed's running, coming towards screen. Everything's coming towards us in perspective. No other background motion. It's showing the changing circumstance. Ed went from somewhere very busy to somewhere less busy. And why not? Yeah, look at me go. Just come up with some funny acting. It's always good to take what the storyboard gave you and go further with it. Now Ed has to get here. This is storyboard pose, but we're not going to start there. We got one background character walking to the right. We got one walking to the left. We got that abandoned, stripped bike there. It's just feeling, again, the backgrounds, the lighting, the tones on there. Ed and Ein are having a nice conversation here. Yep, I think this is it. So Ein is leading Ed to where the hacker is. And so it turns out that even though Ed's just kind of like, whatever, look, food, I'm going to skip from there to there, Ed actually has a plan here. So Ed has this bag, going to take the bag off, going to show it there. We don't know what's inside the bag, and we're not going to see it until, boom, again, we do another time skip, and we see what was inside the bag. It's going to take the audience a few seconds to connect that, oh, pumpkin head, this is Ed. Ed had the pumpkin in the bag. Ed was planning on dressing up for Halloween a day early to try and get into the hacker's house and identify the hacker. Just, I mean, all these ideas are just put forward there. And look at this terrific hands forward there. It was drawn in the boards, but not that extreme. And even when Ed's executing a plan here, Ed's still a goof. So, silly stuff. And this is how it would look to passers-by. Just straight on the door here. Very, simple background. We get that stripped bike again, just to show us in location where we are. Angry guy with a gun answers the door. Ed's alarmed. Ein's reacting. He's like, hey, get out of here. It's not Halloween till tomorrow. Ed's like, whoa, okay. And falling backwards. And again, I mean, Ed's very athletic and able to catch herself, but she's still going to fall around a lot. Ein's going to run off to the left. Toe first. That's an important thing. Whenever we've got going down the stairs, it's always toe first. We don't do heel first. Jumping, running off there. The guy, grumpy old man in perspective. Grumpy old man at the door is going to fire his gun. Boom, fires into the air. You can see on the storyboards there, it was functional, but this is much better. This is okay, boom, but this is so much stronger. And the guy's relaxed, turning around, going back in. We have Ein already coming back in. And again, that's just contrast. We got Ein and then Ed. So we got Ein, door closes, then we got Ed. Boom, 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 left to right, 1, 2, 3. Ed's going to come in. They just can't believe what they just saw. They're just both looking up. They're like, wow. They're not acknowledging each other yet. Until they get close to each other, Ein's going to look up first. Ein is always the one instigating the conversations, it seems. Then Ed's going to turn down. Ein's putting the ears down. Right? That's scary. Beautiful end poses. And again, it's suggested in the boards here, but we don't take it literally. We go further with it and add in the believable human acting. There's so much I could go on with this sequence for an hour. There's so much in here. It's beautiful stuff. If you haven't seen the movie, it's very strong all the way through. This is a quirky part of it, and I love sharing it with you. So thanks for checking it out. I'll see you next time.